The secret to avoiding any and all toxic relationships in your life, and the secret to avoiding all narcissistic abuse, comes down to your ability to be able to understand and accept these three basic human relation interactions. If you can understand the three basic interactions that I'm about to share with you, then you'll be able to determine where you stand in any of your relationships. Not only that, but you'll be able to stop and make a decision based on what's healthiest for you. The three basic interactions that we're going to talk about in this video are going to be, number one, an interaction based on exchange, mutual exchange, otherwise called transactional relationships. These relationships are based off of give-give. You give of your time, your energy, and your resources in exchange for an immediate return of something of equal value. Their time, their energy, or their resources. It's a give-give relationship. Oftentimes it's characterized as being mutually beneficial. The second relationship interaction we're going to talk about is that of investing. Investing is not the same thing as an exchange-based relationship. Investing would be you pouring in your time, your energy, and your effort into a relationship, but not because you're getting an immediate return of equal value, but because you hope for a future return. It's a relationship that's characterized mostly on hope, on trust. And that's very different than an exchange-based relationship. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about giving. An interaction, a relationship interaction based on giving. Giving is not the same thing as an exchange-based relationship. It's not the same thing as an investment. Giving is out of generosity only. It requires you to be at a certain place where you have an abundance, a wealth from which to give. So much so that you're overflowing, so that you don't need anything back in return immediately, or in the long run, you're able to part with what you give and walk away. That's giving. Now, the reason we're talking about these things is because toxic relationships is a result of confusing all of these. People are oftentimes in relationships investing when they think it's giving. So we're going to spend our time really breaking these down. Let's talk. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I continue with this very important message, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I do take telephone calls as well as video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. So if you're looking for that one-on-one time with somebody to help you through a very difficult situation, a very difficult relationship, then head on down there, schedule that time with me. I would love to talk to you. Also, I do have a coaching program. My coaching program is live and in person every day, Monday through Friday. The Royal We community is a community that comes together. We are holding each other accountable in staying no contact, breaking the chains of trauma bonds, and moving into 2023 toxic free. So if you're looking for a community to join, then get down there, join the Royal We community. I'd love to see you in class. Now let's get into this. Based on the three basic human interactions that I shared with you, which would you think is the most risky? I encourage you to write a comment down in the comment section. What's the riskiest human interaction or interaction in general that you could have? Hopefully most of you are saying the investment. And you're absolutely right. Investing is by far the most risky thing that you can do. And surprisingly, it is what most people think relationships are about. This is the most heartbreaking part of it. At some point in our lives, we were lied to. We were conditioned to believe that we don't deserve relationships unless we invest in them, unless we somehow water it like it's some kind of a seed that grows into some miraculous plant. How many of you are done finding seeds in life for intimate partners that you have to water? Huh? Because ultimately what happens is that seed doesn't grow. The biggest lie is that you can find something that needs your watering, needs your investment, and it will transform into what you want. Now we know that what you see is what you get. How many of you are aware of that now? You can get a dang seed as an intimate partner. You can water it all you want, and guess what? At the end of the day, you're stuck with a seed. Right? Now watch this. It works both ways as well. Narcissistically abusive people, psychopaths and sociopaths, they also understand the principle of investing, the burden that it comes with. Many of them will love bomb you, and they'll invest heavily into you in the beginning of the relationship, so much so that they will even deny you of the opportunity to equally exchange. They won't allow you to. Why? Because that creates equality in the relationship. They're not looking for a give-give relationship. They're looking to be the one to give so that they can weaponize it and ultimately hold it over your head, cause you to feel guilt and shame and live in this place where you feel like you owe them, perhaps for the rest of your life. So it's a red flag to either being in a relationship where you are constantly investing or they are constantly investing and not letting you equally contribute. So investing in a relationship is risky territory. Now let's move on to number one, because a lot of people believe that transactional relationships are bad, when in fact they're good. If you know who you are, and if you know what you're looking for and what you need and what you have to give. One of the biggest things about the Royal We community, what we're trying to do is help people learn who they are. You have to know who you are. You have to accept yourself, because it's from this place that you now exchange in relationships. You give in exchange for what you need based on who you are. Ultimately, transactional relationships are exactly what you want. Why? Because that's what being equally yoked is all about. Give. Iron sharpens iron. And together, you continue to give, creating a momentum going forward in any relationship. And by the way, a transactional-based relationship or a relationship built upon exchange, equal exchange, doesn't mean that the giving is of the same exact things. I'm going to share with you a quick story as an example. My grandparents married all their lives. Beautiful couple. By the time I really knew my grandparents, my grandmother was the main breadwinner. She happened to fall into real estate, started making a lot of money. Right? But my grandfather, on the other hand, who was in the war, and then who worked for a company called General Dynamics, and for many, many, many years was the breadwinner. He still maintained his authority and his place in the household with all the other things he did. It was still a perfectly balanced give relationship. So it's not necessarily about the equal amounts of money or this and that. It's just an equal exchange of all things in the relationship. All right? This is what makes a healthy, lasting relationship. So you see, a healthy relationship should be transactional. It should be an exchange-based relationship. The last one I want to talk about is that of giving. Many people confuse giving, especially people who want to look at themselves as being good givers. Maybe you're dealing with a toxic family. And so you give and you give, and you want to call it giving all you want. And I deal with these phone calls from people all the time. Let me tell you something. If you're in this place where you are crying and complaining, saying, I give and I give, I send the cards, I do this, and I never get anything in return, then you're not giving. You're investing. How do we know? Well, because giving doesn't come with any expectations whatsoever. As I said before, giving is completely out of generosity. It's completely out of the overabundance of what you have. It's completely out of the wealth of your life. If you don't have that wealth, then you cannot give. If you don't have the abundance, then you can't give. If it's not out of generosity, then you cannot give. What you're doing is investing, and that's why it hurts. You're doing things with hope. You're doing things with expectation. You're doing things trusting that one day it's going to bring something in return, and that's why it's crushing to you. So it's important for you to understand and separate these things so that you know really where you are in your relationships, whether it's with toxic, narcissistically abusive family members or an intimate relationship. You need to be honest. Are you in the relationship because it's a mutual exchange? If not, then you have to determine why you're in it. Is it a relationship based on investing? If it is, then you have to determine why. Are you investing because you're hoping and waiting and trusting that one day the seed's going to turn into some beautiful flower? Because you're watering it? Or are they investing in you, not letting you do anything, which can potentially result in them controlling you with guilt and with shame? Either way, it's a red flag to consider. Or are you in a place where you really are giving in life in your relationships? How would you know? Well, if you really are giving, here's how you would know. Once again, it would be out of the wealth of your life, meaning you would be so full of joy and resources from outside of the toxic people in your life that your cup overfloweth. And you have so much to give that it can spill out to even the people who disgust you. That's right, even the people you hate. They can have it as though it's crumbs falling from your table. And you don't expect anything in return at that moment, nor do you hold on to any hope that someday they're going to change. That's what giving is. And if that's not what's taking place, then you're not giving. How do you get giving? How do you get to that place? Because some of you might be saying, Kevin, I want to get to a place where I can give even to my toxic family members. I want to give. How do I do it? Become wealthy. And I don't mean financially, but become wealthy in your life with your energy, your time. Become wealthy. Become fulfilled is another way to put that. Become satisfied with your life, who you are, what you're doing. Because it's only from this place where you no longer depend on other people to fill you up, to tell you who you are, to give something in return. Because you have all that squared away. You have the people in your life who tell you who you are. You have the money and resources that you need. You have the time. You have the energy because you've gotten it on your own. When you're wealthy in this way, then it's possible to spill some of this, even to people who disgust you. You can get there. In fact, my goal is to help people just like you get there. Get to a place to where you're so rich in life that you're okay with truly giving even to narcissistic family members. You're able to pour like crumbs off of your table to people who aren't able to do anything for you. As I said before, I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments, telephone calls, video calls. It's all available for you. Head on down there. The Royal We Coaching Program, you do not want to miss out on this opportunity. So head on down there. Check out the Royal We Coaching Program. I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.